Hey, Mike here, Mike's House of Mods, and when I say the word wind restrictor, I'm guessing most of you out there are probably going to be thinking of this product right here. This is the one that I have on the back of my Sky, and they make them for the Solstice and also Camaro, I believe Mustang, and Corvettes and some other cars out there as well. And that's their kind of like their main product is this wind restrictor. But they also have something else that you might not be aware of. And here they are right here. They are the LED door sill covers, and they are in the polished aluminum. The one that I got is actually the multicolored one, so it comes with the multicolored little power box here, so the LEDs that are in here can change different colors. You can also get it as the normal, it's probably just a white LED color in there instead. And these are really cool, and let me tell you, they're really going to class up what I currently have. Now this is a base model. I think the red line is at least a little bit fancier than mine. But here's mine right here. Look at that. Pretty terrible. In fact, you can't even see the logo anymore, really. So anyway, that is going to cover that up really nice. And it's also going to light it up as well. Now, like I said, the ones that I have is going to be a little bit different, specifically with the wiring and stuff, because it is the multicolored LED one. And this is the box that would be installed. And then the wiring is a little bit different on there as well. Normally, if you buy just the standard light up ones, I believe it just comes with 2 wires on the back, the red and black, which would be positive and negative. This one, however, has multiple wires, and if you can kind of tell that, for the different colors of the LED. So looking at the packaging, obviously you have the 2 door sills, all of the clamps and everything that's needed, the instructions, and again, if you get the multicolored one, you will get that as well with the remote. And mine's actually going to be even a little more different because I already have the multicolored remote and everything for my wind restrictor. So what I'm going to basically do is just hook these wires up right to the one that I already have. I'm really not even going to be able to need to install this one because it's already there. However, if you don't have the wind restrictor with the LED and you don't already have these, you basically are going to wire these up, and you're going to wire these up into the controller, and then the controller, they give you this extra wire here that you would use to plug into the power that's behind the passenger side. I'm going to briefly show you where that is, but there's another video. I'm going to put a link in the description from Wind Restrictor that goes into the installation of that. So that is going to help you there. So that being said, let me go ahead and start installing this bad boy. One thing that I did forget to mention is you can actually buy these as non-illuminated as well. So if you just want it with the logo and you don't want to deal with all the lights and the wires and stuff like that, you can also dress up your door sills just with buying the sills themselves without having to worry about plugging them in. All right, first thing we need to do is take off the old door sills. It should be pretty easy. You basically just grab a hold of them. There's only a few clips that are holding them in place. Just pull it straight up and they should pop right off. All right, just go ahead and grab it. Here it comes, and there it is. Like I said, it's only held on by a few clips, and that's it. Now I'm going to take the other one off and clean them up. So like I said earlier, I have the multicolor LED version, and it's going to be a little bit different, especially since I have the multicolor LED version of the wind restrictor as well. So my wiring is going to be a little bit different. I just have to plug into that control module that I already have. But if you didn't get that, if you got either the plain LED ones, or if you got the multicolor one without the wind restrictor control unit, or if you wanted to install the control unit that came with it, so you'd have 2 of them, then it'd be a little bit different. And basically what you're going to do is go under the passenger side, under this footwell here. You would pull this down here, if you can see it, and you pull it down there, and you actually attach it, the positive and negative wires, into the BCM here. And I'm putting a link, like I said, in my description that'll give you instructions on how to do all that wiring there. And it's not really that difficult. It's just basically putting a couple clips on there, and you're done. Okay, so I have them both here, and I'm just going to go and use some regular cleaner. And they also give you some of these alcohol pads that you can use to really clean up this part here. But I'm just going to clean the whole thing, even inside, because now's a good time to do it. And then we'll go ahead and really clean this, hit it with the alcohol pads and dry it off. It has to be nice and dry as well. And then we can go ahead and we can install the door sills. All right, they're all nice and clean and they're ready to have the LED pieces put on there. But I just want to show you, I also was cleaning, you might have noticed, these little areas around these clips underneath. And that is because we're going to be installing these little pieces of foam tape things. And what it's going to do is provide a cushion, so whenever we're pushing these carpet retainers, they're actually called carpet retainers, for your door sills, when we're pushing them in, we don't want it to kind of smash the wires and the LEDs and everything underneath of the LED pieces. So we're going to go ahead and we'll put those on. We'll probably wait until we're ready to install it to install these, but or to put these things on there. But in the meantime, I just need to go ahead and kind of use the little wipes things here, alcohol wipes, clean those off where the LED piece is going to go, and mount it. Okay, we're ready to start mounting these. They're going to go right like this. It's going to be pretty nice. And you can see on the back they have their 3M adhesive tape that's on there, double-sided. So we're going to go ahead and peel off the paper on the double-sided tape. Hopefully very easily. For some reason it was cut there, which is fine. All right. Wish I had better nails. There we go. Okay, there's the one. There we go. There's the other one, and the smaller piece as well, like so. And then one of the things that we want to definitely do is make sure this wire is kind of tucked underneath here. We don't want it to be sticking out or over the edge or anything like that and kind of cut it off. So when we mount it, we're going to make sure that this is kind of out of the way, and so it can be tucked underneath to send it over to put the rest of the wire over to that little control module thing. So it's as simple as lining it up. And once you get it where you kind of like it, I'm just going to kind of press down on it and make sure it stays there. Man, that's going to look great once it's installed. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside and do the other one. Now, if you have those Home Depot kind of clamps, you can actually clamp these on here and leave it sit for 24 hours if you'd like. I have to check to see if we have some of those somewhere. If so, I'm going to do that. If not, I'm just going to maybe put some tape on there to kind of hold them down and let them sit for a while to make sure they're stuck on there really well. So I'm ready to do the installation. I have the passenger side carpet retainer here. And before I get started, I just want to mention one more time, in case some of you guys fast forwarded or skipped through the video, there are basically 3 ways to wire this up. One of them is if you purchase the single color LED, and what that's going to do is your wiring is just going to go directly up into the, I believe it's the BCM that's under your passenger side. You can get the multicolor one, like which I have here, which is going to come with one of these little controllers, and then you're going to wire these wire the lights like this into the controller, and then the controller power up into the BCM. Or you can have, if you already have the wind restrictor with the color LED lights, you can just take your wires and hook them back into the ones that you already have installed with those with the wind restrictor. That's what I have, and that's the way that I'm going to be doing it. So here we are. Let's get this thing installed. First thing I'm going to do, I mentioned earlier, is I need to put 3 of these little tabs where the clips are. They're in between the clips actually. So whenever we push down on it, it is not going to smash all the wiring and the LEDs and everything that's underneath of here. So it's as simple as just putting them on here. And 3. We're actually going to leave the red backing on here because we don't really going to have them stick to anything. It's just mainly there to provide cushion for the for pushing it down. So let me move these around here. Get my wire out of the way. All right, so before I actually clip this in, I'm going to run this wire. It's going to go this way. I'm going to run it under here and kind of have it go out towards the back, because my wiring actually has to go up into the trunk, which is where this little control module of mine is. So I'm going to make sure that's underneath of there, out of the way, and just basically snap it back into place. Usually lines up pretty easily. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and do the driver's side. All right, got the driver's side installed, and I actually ran the wiring. You can't see it because I hit it very well, but I actually ran the wiring down underneath this whole side thing, and then also down and up underneath and up the center thing here, underneath the center console. Well, you can see it's kind of sticking out here. And what I'm going to do is there's a hole in the back of that passenger side that's going to feed the wire through, and then I'll do the same thing with the other side. I'll tuck everything underneath and then run it through that same hole. So I got the wiring finished going back towards the trunk, and it's going to be ready to hook up into the that little control module. But before I show you that, let me kind of give you an idea of what I had to do. It was a little more complicated than I was hoping and what I thought, but actually it wasn't too bad to actually do it. So let me show you. So I had the original wire coming underneath of the center console here and kind of down, and then when I brought it up, it just wasn't long enough because I actually had to go through a hole that's behind here. It wasn't long enough. So what I ended up doing was pulling this piece off right here, which is where your speaker and everything is. I just kind of pulled this piece off. Again, it's just a couple of clips that allowed me to open this way up, and then so my wire is actually probably going down here and then kind of heading up towards the middle to the hole instead of all the way across and up. But I had to kind of disconnect this this piece here to get it in between there and around the seat belt thing and everything else. But like I said, it wasn't too bad. It's just another step that you had to do. It'd be nice if there's a little more wiring on driver's side for people like me that put that little piece back here, put the controller on this side on the passenger side. I mean, it all depends on where you're going to put that controller to begin with. And as you can see, my back behind my seat is pretty dirty as well, and now everybody knows. But anyway, like I said, the wire kind of comes up there, and then there's an actual little hole. You can kind of see it. Let's see if we can get in there. Right up inside here, there's a little tab that you can push in, and that'll push the waterfall thing out of the way, create the hole. Oh, there it is up top up here, and that's where the wires come through, which are right here. And then here's my little control unit thing. I have it already taped on there, so I'm gonna have to do is kind of pull that off to get to the over here. Right there are the 4 screws I got to put everything into. So I'm going to go ahead, connect that, and again there is instructions to kind of show you how to do that as well. So it's just a matter of taking the 2 wires like this and matching up the 4 colors, so you only have 4 altogether, and then screwing them down into the right little screws here that's in the controller. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this controller off, wire them up, and see how these work. Okay, I got the 2 main wires coming out connected together, the reds, whites, greens, and blacks. If I had a little more time, it's actually going to rain again. I'm just so freaking sick of this rain. But anyway, I would probably solder these things. In fact, once I connect it and make sure it works, I might take it back off and solder them to make sure they're nice and solid anyway. All right, the wiring is all done. Little control box is back to where it was before, and I have it all zip tied on there nice and tight. And I'll be honest, I did actually end up soldering those wires together just because they were just too small and I just didn't want them to come off. So I soldered them together and it worked out really well. And I know it's daytime here, and we'll check these out when it gets dark, but here they are. I think they actually look pretty darn good, especially with the brushed aluminum. Kind of classens up the little carpet retainer thing here, and especially if you had the base model like I have, which was absolutely terrible. So it looks good there, and it's the same thing on the driver's side as well. So I'm going to wait till it gets dark, and then I'll light these babies up so you can see how they look. All right, it is officially nighttime, and check this out. There's my lit up wind restrictor, and I come down, and here is the lit up door sills. That is too cool. Now I have my regular LED under footwell lights there, but these ones are actually changing color just like my wind restrictor, because I have them hooked up together. So I must say, I think that's pretty awesome actually. All right, and here is the passenger side. Looks just as cool. And then here's the remote that you get, like I mentioned before, and it's so you can actually turn them off, turn it on, change different settings and brightness, and dimming it as well. So this controller actually is controlling both my wind restrictor and the door sills at the same time. Anyway, this is the way I have it hooked up. I think it's pretty cool, and it's a really neat little bling action that you can add to your Sky or your Solstice. Okay, so these WindRestrictor Door Sill LEDs are really cool, and they'll really dress up your Saturn Sky, Solstice, Opel GT, and other cars that they have on there as well. One quick thing before I go, if you do purchase something at windrestrictor.com and you use Mike's Mods in the coupon code, you'll actually get 10% off anything you order there. So if it's something you're interested in, by all means go check it out and save 10%. But that actually brings us to the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that little notification bell. I'll let you know anytime I come up with some new videos. Till then, I'll see you later.